In a major setback to disgraced liquor baron Vijay Mallya, the government has revoked his passport. The Ministry of External Affairs took the decision under Section 103C and 103H of the Passports Act 1967. The ministry is also consulting legal experts for Vijay Mallya's deportation, whose stay in the UK is now illegal. Meanwhile, top government sources have told India Today that investigative forces have put out a formal arrest warrant against him. The Enforcement Directorate will approach the Interpol next week itself for a notice to arrest Mallya. Mallya has ignored 3 summons, remember, issued by the Enforcement Directorate seeking time till May to depose before the agency. A court in Mumbai has also issued an arrest warrant for him after he failed to appear before investigators looking into the finances of Kingfisher Airlines. Mallya is believed to be in the United Kingdom after he left India on the 2nd of March. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has termed the Mallya issue as a sin of previous governments. In an exclusive conversation with India Today in Mussoorie, Jaitley said that the centre is ready to do whatever it takes to rectify the situation.
विजय माल्या का मुद्दा भी रहेगा, उस पर क्या होगा?
देखिए, एनपीएस एक बहुत बड़ा विषय है और इस पे चर्चा अगर होती है और फाइनेंस बिल के दौरान तो स्वाभाविक रूप से इसमें चर्चा होगी। फाइनेंस बिल पास होना है तो हम भी चाहेंगे कि इसमें चर्चा हो और देश के सामने पूरे तथ्य हमें रखें। सरकार ने तो इसमें पूरे कदम उठाए हैं और ये तो पुरानी सरकारों के पाप हैं जिनको समाधान ढूंढने का प्रयास हम कर रहे हैं।
Let's now take a look at how strong the case against Vijay Mallya is. In fact, what are the chances that UK will pay heed to the Indian request for extraditing the tycoon? According to former ED officers, India has a strong case where Mallya is concerned. As per the extradition treaty signed in March 1994 between India and the UK, any request for deportation has to be accompanied by an arrest warrant issued by a court. Mallya already has several arrest warrants against him. What makes the case still stronger are the money laundering charges against him, considered an international offence against which the world as a whole is cracking down on. The treaty also says that UK can only deny extradition if it feels that Mallya may be judged in an Indian court on the basis of his race, religion, nationality or political opinion, none of which applies in this case.
I also want to thank my assistants who everybody and those of you here. Staff here helps with people.
All right, just a short while back, we spoke with the former additional director of Enforcement Directorate about the chances of India being able to get Vijay Mallya back and appear before the Enforcement Directorate. Here's what he had to say.
This case is under special law. Offence of money laundering is a special law which cannot be restricted to regional boundaries of a country. It is a law which is having global implications. I mean, they cannot say that we will not comply with the provisions of Article 11 because for refusal, there has to be grounds. And Article 9 of the treaty between UK and India that clearly provides that a refusal can be made. I mean, if the person satisfies the government, I mean, that is the requested state UK, that in case he is extradited, I mean, he will be prosecuted or punished on account of his race, religion, nationality or political opinion. So these conditions are not satisfied in the case of Vijay Mallya.
Managing Editor TV Today Group Rahul Kaval is now joining us with more details. Rahul, is Vijay Mallya, with all these developments, trapped now, or does he still have legal space to maneuver in as far as his passport is concerned?
So Vijay Mallya does have the option of, what we've seen in previous instances in the United Kingdom, going out and purchasing travel documents from some of the smaller countries where rich people can pay a hefty premium and are able to procure these documents for themselves. Just as of this moment, his stay in the United Kingdom is illegal, but it's also possible, and we haven't heard from Vijay Mallya, that in anticipation of such a situation, he's already gone to a country like Honolulu or Bahamas, any of these countries, and got a plan B ready. But the problem in that case would be that he'd immediately become a persona non grata. So far, we've seen, whenever this case has come up hearing in the Indian courts, Vijay Mallya has been making a case for how he can possibly repay a part of the loan. That's something our public sector banks haven't been satisfied with. They want him to pay the entire outstanding and not just a part of it. So so far, Vijay Mallya has been negotiating. Naturally, at some point in time, given his deep roots in India, so many assets that he owns in different parts of the country, he would like to come back. He wouldn't want to be a fugitive out on the run, out on the loose forever. So really, as of now, it will be critical to see how Vijay Mallya responds. If he wants to delay this, that's something that he can do. We've already seen cases like Lalit Modi's case where it's been dragged, even though experts have been citing the extradition treaty between India and the United Kingdom to say that if it's financial malfeasance, he doesn't have much of a ground to stay back, because what is financial malfeasance in India is equally financial malfeasance in the United Kingdom. You can stay on if you're able to build a case before a British magistrate that because of grounds of race, religion, your skin color, you're being discriminated against, and therefore you shouldn't be sent back to the country that you belong to. That's a completely different kind of scenario which doesn't apply for Vijay Mallya. The noose is indeed tightening around him. We are being told at the highest levels that this week itself the Enforcement Directorate is going to approach the Interpol demanding that Vijay Mallya be sent back.
Right, so the government sending out an indication that it does want investment, but not at the cost of people breaking the law. Rahul, many thanks for joining us with those details. Revoked his passport. Let's now take a look at what next for Vijay Mallya. How strong is the case that India has against Vijay Mallya? In fact, what are the chances that UK will pay heed to the Indian request to now extradite the tycoon? According to former ED officials, India has a strong case where Vijay Mallya is concerned. As per the extradition treaty signed in March 1994 between India and the UK, any request for deportation has to be accompanied by an arrest warrant issued by the court. Mallya already has several arrest warrants against him. And what makes the case even more strong are the money laundering charges, considered an international offence against which the world as a whole is cracking down on. The treaty also says that UK can only deny extradition if it feels that a person may be judged in an Indian court on the basis of his race, religion, nationality or nationality or political opinion. In fact, none of this applies in the case of Vijay Mallya. Executive Editor Javed Ansari now joining us with more details. Javed, all these swift developments have come just a day before the government faces the opposition in Parliament in the second half of the budget session. Is this in view of managing the ire from the opposition, because there's already quite a bit on the platter for the government to tackle tomorrow?
Well, certainly they have their task cut out once the second half of the budget session resumes tomorrow. But yes, the fact of the matter is this also has to do with a lot with perception. The government received a lot of flack for the manner in which it handled the Lalit Modi's case, especially its failure to get back Lalit Modi. Some of its ministers were accused of being close and thereby aiding and abetting his and making things easy for Mr. Lalit Modi. The government did not want the same thing with Major Vijay Mallya, and that's why it's acted with alacrity. It's done what it could, which is that it's revoked his passport. First they withdrew his diplomatic passport. Now his passport has been revoked. There's a non-bailable warrant from a court in Mumbai, and now the government is moving. We are told it's the Enforcement Directorate will be notifying Interpol, and they're trying to tighten the noose around Mr. Mallya, making things very difficult for him to stay away. The only recourse now left for him is that he should come back and face the courts in India.
All right, Javed, many thanks for joining us with those details.